Hey everybody, I'm here with my wonderful Karina, who is going to be an amazing blonde. God made her to be a blonde. And you notice what we're going to be doing. I'm going to be doing a very modern sort of melted, shade on shade, not too crazy, but very sexy blonde. We're going to low light her ends that have not been touched for over a year using my cream demi shades. And remember, demi color can only match or deepen the hair. So I'm using a 10 balanced blonde with an 8 ice, which is ashy and silvery, but it'll never go crazy or violet. And because she's naturally a blonde, I'm going to be using my permanent high lift color Beth Menardi 12 Ice, which I adore, and it's called Ice Age. This is a permanent cream color that contains two great conditioners, Ceramide 2 and Phyto Collagen, and I'm mixing it with equal parts of 40 volume developer. So highlights and lowlights, and the wonderful Kathleen Smith is going to be working with me, my cat, and Christina is filming, and Karina is the best there is. So we're going to create really a lot of fun and great blonde on blonde ambition here. And let's think of a little bit of a modern renaissance, very sexy. It's an uptown color, but with a very downtown vibe. Young, modern, sexy, and a little bit, hey, rich girl. So stay tuned. We'll be back in touch in a minute as I start wrapping up this head. So right now, Kathleen and I are working across the back of Karina's head, and this is a low light. This is a demi-permanent cream low light, and those of you who studied with me understand that I use cream demis for my low lights. This is a level 10 balanced blonde with a level 8 ice, because what I want to do with Karina is take a look, and I'm addressing her as though she has two separate heads of hair. Her brunette, or it's not even brunette, it's a level 6, almost 7 natural blonde. And the highlights and lowlights I placed in this hair more than a year ago that have grown out. So you can still see some of the lowlights, and after a year they're a bit brassy. I wanted to have a cooler, more sort of urban kind of blonding with some really beautiful pale, creamy ivory pieces, as well as some steamier sort of steely pieces, but not too steely. So you'll see she has fine hair, and I'm working on an angle here. And what I'm going to do first is, let's pick this piece up, and this is going to be a little different because I see what I'd like to do here. I'm analyzing the strand, and when I'm looking at it, I see that part of it is very dark and part of it is very light. So why don't I lighten on an angle, and I'm not going to go all the way to the scalp because we're going to melt this look in. But on the ends, what I want to do just a little bit is to deepen them there so they're not so whitey, because what I'm trying to do is create a really soft, sexy, melted, modern blonde on blonde. You can paint this in, but I love to separate my work with foil just so that I can press against the hair. You'll notice here I'm placing a low light right on top of that other foil, but I'm enveloping only part of the hair shaft with my low lighting formula. And again, using my Beth Menardi artistic foil to create that beautiful barrier. Again, slicing down. Can you let them know again what's in each bowl? Yes. In bowl number 1 is Beth Menardi Permanent Cream Color 12 Ice. It's called Ice Age. It's my highest lift blue silver based super lifting color. And it's always mixed with 40 volume developer, but not double, equal parts of 40 volume developer and 12 ice.
And that was near the scalp.
That's her regrowth area, yes, where she needs to be lightened. Yes. On the ends of the hair, on the mid shaft and ends, we're using Beth Menardi Cream Demi Color mixed with 5 volume developer, 10 BB with equal parts of 8 ice and 5 volume. Now take a look at this strand. You can see that Karina's very light through this where I'm touching here. So let's just pick that up, notch it out, and low light it. But if God made pieces deeper, not everyone would go to the very ends because the sun hits the hair. So there we go, leaving the ends out, and I'm folding in. And then what I'd like to do is go next to it with a highlight. So I'm weaving and placing a highlight. And again, I'm dragging, she can actually feel me pulling her hair. I'm using my brush vertically instead of horizontally, and I'm doing sort of a zigzag at the root so it looks like it's grown away. And if you're ever frightened that it doesn't look like it's grown enough away, you can tap the regrowth area with your demi cream. Remember, demi creams, demi colors, are beautiful, and they do penetrate the cortex of the hair, but they have no ability to lift. They can match or darken the hair. And my liquid demis and cream demis really do a great job. So here you see again, you can see, but this super light piece, I think I'll keep very light. Let's let this be an interplay of light and dark. So these ends are very light. Let's lighten the regrowth. Again, avoiding right down to the scalp. We don't have to go what we call down to the wood on every one of these. I'm closing the foil. And next to it, look what I'm going to do. Up and down, up and down. This is almost a thread, and I talked to you about threading the hair. This is a low light. Okay, so high and low next to one another. And again, we're going to continue working through the crown of the hair. Now, sometimes what I like to do is just minimize that very pale end, not making it go away. This is all staying light. But what I'm doing is painting the low light and the dimension through the middle lengths of the hair, and then leaving the very tips out, because as I said, if God made her blonde from being in the sun, those little tips would often be a bit lighter. And I want that melted look. I still want it to look less blonde at the root and blonder toward the ends, because that's what's happening right now. Roots are in, but they're in a different way than they were a year ago. We still like to blend a little bit, but you got to put a lot of pop out there. I think the word ombre has kind of had it. People will be talking about it for a long time, but I think a more impressionistic look with our work is what we're aiming for right now. So again, I'm weaving. I don't pick up the hair and weave it. I weave it off the scalp. And when I'm doing a fine piece, I just almost slide that comb, slide and skip, slide and skip, slide and skip across. And working with long foil has changed my life, and I know it'll change yours. You can get it from me, and I can tell you how. And buying my color, I have wonderful partners who are back in business, and we're shipping to your salon each and every day. And during the month of December, we're having a big sale. You can get the color, which is usually $5.49 a piece, for only $4.49 a piece. And all you do is call our customer service line, which I can give you the number for later. So looking at this, people say to me, how many highlights did you place? How many lowlights did you place? Sorry for the noise, this is a beauty salon. So I look at the hair and I say, what is that hair asking for? What is that piece asking for? And I think we're a little too monochromatic and light on the ends. So, but let's not take all that light away. Let's do a very fine little whisper and minimize the population of super light hair as we go towards the top of the head. Certainly this is where the sun would hit the hair the most. And I can fold that up. Okay, so moving right into top areas of the hair. We see that she's a little longer over here with the brunette, and a little closer on the other side. So hey everybody, as you see, I finished wrapping my little model Karina, who's a blonde naturally, but she's like a level 6, 7, and a year ago I highlighted and lowlighted the hair. She's been traveling to LA, she's been on HBO, Hulu, making movies, and we needed to highlight her again. But I wanted to do a little nod to what we call melting, so that it's almost an ombre, not quite, with softer highlights at the scalp, but most of them away from the scalp, and shade on shade, deeper blonde through the hair length. Because she's blonde, I wanted to show you what my 12 Ice permanent Beth Minardi cream color does when mixed with 40 volume developer. And I low lit her hair with my cream demi color mixed with 5 volume developer, 10 BB and 8 Ice with 5 volume. Always low light with cream demi, always highlight with either lightener or permanent color. If somebody has their hair dyed dark, you have to use bleach, you can't use color. But Karina had all that virgin hair. We'll see her finished, and you're also going to see her in my new campaign that we're shooting this Monday with Roberto Lugraci with my new company, Personal Brands. Beth Minardi signature at Personal Brands. Everything's on sale this month, $1 off, and here's what to do. Email me at bethminardi@gmail.com or go to this phone number, 855-426-7765, and click option 4. We'll send you everything direct. You'll have it in your hand in a day or two. So thanks a bunch, and you'll see Karina finish later on. Have a great evening, and remember, when you dream, try to dream in color.